What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Hugo Strange here one more time here with the final episode of Breaking Bad, Felina, episode 16, and now, before I start, I just want to get some quick housekeeping things out of the way. Dexterity is up for anybody who's watching this who's a Dexter fan. My Dexterity review is up for the final season of Dexter. You can find that in the link below. Make sure you check that out because I have some choice words about it. It runs a little long, but it's definitely worth it if you're a Dexter fan and if you just want to listen to, I think, at least an hour and some odd minutes of me bitching about the final season of Dexter. All that being said, this is how you do a final season, and personally I think this is going to go down as one of the greatest finales in history. Not for any special, clever little trick it's done, but because it stayed honest to the story, it stayed honest to, you know, the resolution to the characters of where this would go realistically. Like, how this would end up if such a character like Walter White existed, and, you know. So I like the fact that it didn't pull any rabbits out of the hat. And what's good for me, aside from the fact that Jesse lived, yes, choke him out, get that nigga Jesse, get that nigga Jesse, get that nigga Jesse. What's good for me is the fact that in the end, Walter White had that realization that everything he's been doing is because he wanted to. And I like that scene where he told Skyler, it's like, you know, I did it for me. I liked doing it. I was good at it. You know, and that was probably the most honest he's been. Like, yes, he was doing it for his family, and that stayed at the forefront of his mind when he went to see Gretchen and Ellen, which was a great scene, by the way. That was played beautifully. I liked that scene, and it was just the whole time he's just there, just like, oh, admiring their house, and they're just off having their conversation, and he's funny, you know. Then she finally turns to him, and she's like, ah, and beautiful scene. Especially with the quote unquote hitmen. That was great, really chilling, and it really just solidified that he wasn't stupid. Because when that scene happened, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what's stopping them from calling the police immediately after? And knowing Walter White, he's not just gonna trust those two to do that. But in the end, I think it's actually really clever of him to do that. I don't know if the DEA is gonna seize that money, because Gretchen and Elliot Schwartz are, you know, in fact, millionaires. So it's not like, you know, they wouldn't turn to Walter White's family and say, hey, you guys have been through something horrible, you know, it sucks. So, you know, Walter White was a friend of mine, and even though he's no longer a friend, here's this money, you know, we're gonna look after you, kind of thing. Which I think is genius that Walter did that. That's really smart. I don't know if the DEA would catch on to that. I don't think they would, because it's coming from people who were loosely connected to Walter White, but it's not, you know, and the Schwartz would be doing a good thing for Walt Jr. So I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, it works, and it's not completely outside of the realm of possibility if you're Walter White and you happen to know people who are millionaires. Genius stuff. Anyway, I just couldn't be more happy with this finale. And again, not because of any rabbits they pulled out of the hat, but just because it stayed honest to the story they were trying to tell. And it came to a logical conclusion that didn't play it safe. Of course, there are going to be spoilers in this video, because, you know, if you're watching this, then yes. So Walter White dies at the end. Jesse is free, which is awesome. And I like the fact that it just ends right there. That's the final image you see of just Walter White going out in a meth lab, which is where, you know, he wanted to go out. The way he handled the neo-Nazis was great. That was an awesome scene. The trunk spring-loaded, and it just got everybody, and nobody suspected anything, because they wouldn't. They really wouldn't. They would suspect him to be, you know, pulling a gun out or something. No one... That's the thing I liked about Walter White, is that the neo-Nazis had no clue who they were dealing with and how just crafty and clever Walter is. So that was kind of his final Heisenberg moment. And I like the fact that he saved Jesse. And it's good to see Jesse win. The ending of this just... It was solid writing through and through. And it just stayed honest. This is proof positive that you can actually have a good ending. A great, you know, finale, a great final season. This is how it's done, where everything felt like it was down to the wire. All the points were zeroing in on this one thing. And it finally came to a resolution where all the characters got some kind of resolution. I mean, Marie and Skylar can patch things up because now they know where Hank is. Hank got a resolution there because, you know, he's going to get a proper burial, proper send-off. Jesse got a resolution. He's free. He gets to go off and, you know, be who he is. And I think with that flashback scene of, you know, Jesse building the box with pegs, rubbing the insides with tongue oil, all that, I think that's what Jesse's going to do. You know, the fact that he's going to look to a better life now that we had that brief flashback there. So we're going to look forward to that. Not that, you know, we're going to get that, but that's what's going to happen. Walt Jr. is going to be taken care of. His family is going to be taken care of. You know, Walter gets to go out the way he does. Every single thing that needed to get resolved got resolved. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff. I mean, Brock doesn't have a mother now, but I mean, you know, Jesse has money now. I don't know if he still has that money, but I'm pretty sure he does. I don't know. I really don't know. But no, he still does. He still does because he had it when he was going to see that Vanisher guy, Robert Forster. So yes, everything in this episode, in this season, in this series, was paid homage to in the finale, and that's the way you do it. That is the way you do it, and I couldn't be happier with this. It was just great. It was just good. It was really solid. You know, the best they could have done, and they didn't try to do anything artistic or, you know, fancy. It was just, this is straightforward. This is how it's going to end. Take that. And it's perfect. It's great. I can't see anybody having a problem with this, especially with the story that was being told. This is the way you end a series. This is it. This is how you do it. Especially, I've seen a lot of endings. I've written a lot of endings. This is how it's done, where you come to some kind of revolution and you pay homage to the previous seasons. This is how you do it. So, yeah. That does it for me. Could not be happier with this finale, with the series. Just great through and through. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. And yeah, that'll do it for me. Expect a Chainsaws and Vicodin coming out sometime, I don't know, sometime either this week or next week. I don't know, my schedule is kind of hectic right now. But, you know, expect one coming. And also, be sure to check out Dexterity in the link below if you want my, my thoughts on the final season of Dexter. Spoiler warning, it's terrible. But yeah, so that'll do it for me. I'll see you guys later. Deuces.